Welcome to Nasturtium and Nightingale. My name is Lisa, and it's great to have you here. I have a quick, timeless message that will pertain most strongly to someone who is grappling with the pressures of wanting to honor their magic while also maintaining a strong material foundation. This very short oracle reading consists of the shark and the unicorn, and when these two cards flipped over together, it took my breath away as to how powerful this image is. To me, it looks as though these two characters are facing off for a duel, both of them carrying their weapon of choice, the shark his teeth, the unicorn her horn, and both of whom have these magnificent forces behind them, the shark, the ocean, and the unicorn, the moon. Now, I'm seeing this face-off as an internalized battle within the self that began with some kind of external pressure and then became absorbed somewhere along the way into your consciousness. I just want to leave this idea here because I think that is the heart of the reading, and I'll circle back to this in just a moment. And nothing against sharks here, but I'm seeing the unicorn as the protagonist of the reading and the shark as the antagonist. And I feel that I'm connecting with a unicorn or dreamer of some sort who is at odds with themselves and attempting to consume the dreamer within with the voraciousness of a shark because it's perceived as a vulnerability and a liability to a more corporate, buttoned-up lifestyle that says to the world, you are successful. Even the color palette of the shark, which is mostly shades of gray, speaks to me about concrete and needing the instincts of a shark to survive the concrete jungle that is the corporate world. But when we look back to the elemental forces behind the animals, what's jumping out to me is a kind of paper covers rock in favor of the unicorn. Because as powerful as the shark and the ocean are, both of whom have the power to consume a human life with very little effort, the unicorn has the element of spirit and the moon behind it, the moon being the controller of the tides, and in some ways, a trump card to the ocean and the shark. Even when I look at the weapons of choice for this duel of the unicorn and the shark has its sharp teeth pointed right at the unicorn's throat, whereas the unicorn has her horn angled toward the sky, over top of the shark, as if to say, hey, I'm above this. I don't even want to use this weapon if I don't have to, and I'm more powerful than you anyway. I have the power of the moon and the divine behind me, and even if you come for me and take my life, there's no way that you can take away the impact that unicorns collectively have upon the human imagination. I want to circle back to what I believe is at the heart of this reading, which is this state of conflict between the part of you that wants material security and social acceptance, and the part of you that wants to honor your creativity and magic. That's something that used to be external between you and another, but is now internal. I'm envisioning the beginning of the movie The Never-Ending Story, where Bastian and his father are arguing at breakfast about how Bastian daydreams in school, which he describes as a grief response to the loss of his mother. His father interprets this as maladaptive and tells Bastian he's got to keep his feet on the ground. I think this is reflective of a lot of caregiver-child dynamics, even healthy ones, where the parent sincerely wants the child to grow up and individuate with a sense of security and stability. And the best way to do that from their perspective is to encourage groundedness, good grades, good schools, and a career that would make the child a decent income. It's a tendency to go toward the known rather than the unknown, which makes perfect sense when you're wanting to protect someone. On the converse, I keep wondering, what if the person who wrote The Never-Ending Story had never written it? Or what if Bastian had decided to take his math test rather than enter Fantasia through the book in the attic? And what if children everywhere had never had the opportunity to experience this wonderful story that was once a single grain of sand in the mind of a unicorn? I was hearing the song Apple by Charlie XCX before I pulled any cards, which contains the phrase, "The apple don't fall far from the tree," which means that a person will very likely be similar to the lineage from which they came. I think, though, in this generation of cycle breaking and widespread psychological knowledge, we have the choice as to whether we lay roots that mingle with those of our parents, grandparents, and great-grandparents, or whether we gather momentum to roll down the hill, lay a new foundation, and grow a tree where we invite grafts of branches that may indeed grow apples in the shape of unicorn hearts. I'm not here to tell you to quit your job, that your parents are toxic, or that you need to take any course of action here whatsoever. I'm just a tarot reader wondering how to hug a shark that wants to devour a unicorn in order to keep itself safe in society, and how to keep the magic and creativity alive within our inner children, rather than digesting within a shark's belly. Instead of offering any advice, and because I want to keep this brief and hopefully collaborative, I have some final questions that maybe we can discuss together in the comments. Number 1, have you ever quit a job to pursue a creative pathway? If so, how did it go? What would you do differently, if anything? Number 2, are there any protective or critical voices from childhood that continue to have internal power over your actions and decisions, even though you're now an adult? And number 3, which parts of your lineage would you like to continue, and which parts would you like to change? Thanks so much for listening, everyone. If this reading resonated and you're feeling like a sharkicorn, let's try to help each other out in the comments. Like, subscribe, and I'll talk to you later.